Hello and welcome. Henning Pauli here. Welcome to the channel. Today we're looking at a tiny little box. It's a speaker by Blackstar called the Blackstar speaker. Artist FR. For some reason not FR. I don't know. Full response, full range, flat response. It's missing one of the two. Honestly, I didn't read up on it. I mean, it's a speaker, you plug in a modeler, you make it loud. It's a modeler LOUDERMAKER. And maybe it's not flat response. Maybe they just said full range, sure, so you can go into it with your IRs, but flat response, who gives a crap? Because we're not dealing with a high-end product. It is rather affordable, rather small, and it's there to do the job to make your shit louder. It's a shit LOUDERMAKER in SLM. So it's a Blackstar Artist SLM shit LOUDERMAKER, standard 50 watt 112. There's also the special, which is 100 watts. And I can tell you the following specs that Thomann has on their side. Full range guitar box, 112, 50 watt, integrated, integrated foot. In German, that's very dirty. You don't know. It's got an XLR input, XLR output, a couple of knobbies, 10 kilos, and it's black. Look, it's a straightforward FR cab, looks like a guitar cab, but it's full range so that you can go into it with your modeler. That's the whole idea. In the back, you can see that we go in XLR, and we could go out XLR. Of course, we're not doing that here because we're not getting the signal from our modeler. We're actually getting the signal from the cab, so that output would be going to front of house. So the idea is not that the sound from that speaker is what the audience hears. That is for you only as a personal monitoring system. You're taking your modeler. If you look at the floor right there, I've got the IDX Floor 3 right there with XLR out going into the cab. So that will go to you for the practice room, a small stage maybe where you're maybe using it as a cab that the audience hears in a small club, okay, maybe, very small club, and a personal monitoring system, maybe for you to hear your modeler in your office or your living room. Then you take that XLR out to front of house where they crank that shit up through the main speaker. So it's a personal monitoring system for you to hear what's going on. That's all it is. Full disclosure. At €309 or €369, 69, that's dirty again. These are rather affordable FRs or FRs, whatever that means. I don't know which one of the two FRs it is. And I don't really care. They're more affordable, let's say, than the EVH Hypersonic that I tested, which has ridiculous 1,000 watts. Or the Tone X cab from IK Multimedia clocking in at $699 with 350 watts. Now the wattage, as I found out, it's completely irrelevant because it tells you nothing about how loud it is. Now, the 350 watts of the IK cab is killing the 1,000 watts of the Hypersonic from EVH. So where does this 50 watt land? Well, not as loud as the Tone X, but it's also less than half the price of the Tone X, and it has less features and all that stuff. It is smaller, it is lightweight, it's a nice solution for your modeler. Now, honestly, if you're running around with a €2,000 Fractal, realistically, you're gonna have a FRFR solution to match in quality and resolution all this. That's not it. This is affordable, small, and a nice €309 right now at Thomann solution to pair with, for example, the IDX Floor 1, 2, or 3, which is, yet again, a rather affordable floor modeler. The thing I love is the IDX combo. It sounds phenomenal, and literally it's pretty much both of these things stuck together. Now, if you have one of the new floors or any kind of, let's say, more budget-minded modeler, or even a more expensive one like a Quad Cortex, something like this, if you only have a €300 budget, you're going to get this. If you have a €700 budget, honestly, you're not going to get this. It's not the idea. The idea is this is fairly priced. only 50 watts. Now let's talk about whether or not that can survive in a band situation a little bit later. First of all, I'll show you how it arrived in the box, or actually out of the box.
I got a box, it makes a sound, brings the noise all over town. Little thing, big roar. Push that button, hear scream, make it louder, yeah, make it louder. Turn it up now, make it louder. My neighbors hate it, my dog howls, the cat runs wild with angry growls. Who cares anyway? It's my sweet sound. Twist us now, feel the shake, make it louder.
Okay, of course, as always, we're going straight into the product shots with some sounds that are recorded in the room here with a stereo ribbon. Now, why are we recording in the room with a stereo mic and not close micing this? Because that's really not the point of something like this. If you wanted to close mic something, mic's right here, you would do this with a tube amp and a guitar cab. The whole idea with this is a personal monitoring system. You're not going to smack mics on your speakers at a concert like the monitor speakers. Doesn't make sense. The modeler already has speaker simulation built in. That's why this has an output to go directly to the front of house or you mix in your practice room. And this is only for you to hear. So the relevant thing is not what it sounds like with speakers with mics right in front of it. The relevant thing is, what does it sound like in the room? And this video cannot tell you that. You have to experience that for yourself. The best I can do is take a €3,500 Nuvo N28 from AEA, which is a beautiful stereo ribbon, which accurately kind of captures the sound in the room, but not really. How much sound pressure does it do? How much does it chug? We cannot possibly get that on film on YouTube. I can only describe what I'm hearing and give you the best idea. So when we're looking at it, let's do this from the back again. You saw in the product shots they had this really cool stand, and that is beautiful to angle it. And when you're standing up like this, you want it angled because your feet don't have fucking ears. You want it going up. High frequency information is directional, low frequency information is less directional, which is why the port in the back, that little hole in the corner, can be in the back because low end finds its way, like life will find a way. Jurassic Park. High end and mids, they're directional. So you want that tilted, so that you can hear it a lot better. Right? For example, if I'm tilting it right now, I can hear a little bit of a hiss coming from the signal, right? And now I can't. So the higher the frequency, the more directional it is. You want to tilt it up. That way, you're hearing it in the practice room or on stage, but your bandmates don't have to suffer through your horrible playing. That tilty thing is beautiful that it's in the middle. The others have it Fender style on the sides to fold out, but it is super annoying, and let me show you why. There's a push button right here. Do you see this? Like a little metal thing. So when you're pushing this in, You have to push it all the way in and then fold it out. There just isn't enough space here. It's a dumbass design, Blackstar. I literally can't do it. You need 2 hands. You need tiny little fingers. Always have your kids with you when you do that. Okay. You saw in the product shots. Let me tell you, it works. But they should have made more of a Aussparung, as we say in German, more of a hole in the back so you can actually do this. It's nice that it goes clicky click and doesn't automatically come out. It's a nice design, but there is no space to do it. My wife, Leslie, has tiny little fingers. She couldn't do it. So you literally have to go with one finger, push it all the way in, and with the other one, and then doing this, setting up on stage when you don't have a lot of time. Annoying! Okay. Other than that, on the top, I mean, there's an on button. You have volume, bass, middle, treble, just to adjust a little bit, right? And then presence. Now, why would you want to adjust on this if your modeler already has the sounds? Well, the modeler sounds go to the front of house, and that's the EQ that you want. But if this is on stage in a position, for example, where there's too much bass boom, take the bass down. Adjust it to what you want to hear. You want a little bit more mids for you to enjoy. That's fine, but it's not going to change the sound that goes to the front of house. Let's get some sounds in the room with the Nuvo N28. It's a good range on the top end, so you can dial it down if it's a bit too much, but you can't really make it, you know? I would think those mids are maybe around 900 hertz, 1K-ish maybe. It's a beautiful range. It's great if you're in the corner of a practice room and you're really booming because the corner will get the bass up. You can absolutely tame that. Okay, let's get some more sounds here. This is an Infinia, by the way, Ceres. Gorgeous guitar, review coming. Right now we got a pretty good volume happening, not enough to kill my ears, which means probably not enough to fight against a rock drummer. Can it do that? Is it even designed at its price point, its size, and all that to fight against a rock drummer? Or is it the perfect companion for your bedroom, living room, office, for your kids' bedroom when it's, you know, when you're starting out? Is this a beginner kind of a thing, or are we talking about serious tool here? Serious tool in that price range, probably not, but could it be used as a serious tool? I mean, let's find out. I'm gonna crank this up to about 3 o'clock here. We're getting to the point where you could fight against a drummer borderline. Can I really crank it up? I mean, really just go, no headroom left? I could likely increase the master on the IDX floor 3, because right now, as you can see, that is halfway up. However, I do not think that that's meant to fight against a big, loud drummer. If that's what you want to do, realistically, you're probably getting something else. I think it would be the same thing as saying, I'm buying the IDX 50, which is the combo version of this whole setup, and I'm expecting it to gig with a full band and a metal drummer, which you wouldn't be stupid enough to think you could, right? That's a practice, beginner, office amp. I love that amp, even for recording. You put mics in front of that amp, it's killer. It's not meant. This little amp, which is about that size, I have one in the office. You wouldn't expect that to go against a full band. So you wouldn't expect the €309 artist FR50 thing to go against a full band. I think you probably can, but you're going to get to the limit of what it can do. Now, talk about a sound in the room. At those volumes, if I have a tube amp with a 112, and I go chug, 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 it's going to hit me in the gut. It's going to move air. It's going to make me feel like I'm, Freddie May with Queen on this big stage or whatever, Modelers usually don't do that. This makes a modeler louder, but it doesn't pump the air through the room like a tube amp. It's not a volume issue. It's not a let's make it really loud and then it feels like this big ass tube amp. Even a much more high-end modeler will not get you that. A tube amp will. Each attack is just hitting you in the guts, which is why Blackstar makes some killer tube amps. This is a monitor speaker that makes your modeler louder, but it will not go chug chug and hit you in the frickin' nuts like a rock and roll amp will. It makes it louder. That's fine. It makes it louder nicely. And I think why do I even have a strap on? It sounds balanced. I have some FIFR cabs that I've tested where there's just mud and it's not right. You're looking for your guitar signal. Everything I'm getting here, I'm totally cool. Let's go to metal here. Yes, it's loud, but it doesn't go pa 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 like a tube amp would. You know why? Because it's not a tube amp. But at 300, or actually probably under 300 for the IDX Floor 3 and 300 for this, you're looking at $600 for a massively flexible system that can probably borderline, I would say, live in a band. If you're in a loud ass metal band, maybe not. In any kind of other situation, very likely. For the hotel lobby to play, with the top 40 band, this is a very affordable combination that gets the job done. I like the balance. Nothing stands out as too much anywhere. Is it a super high-end product? No. The price tells you that it's not. Is it fair for the price and it delivers? Yes. Except for the stupid thing in the back that you can't really get out unless you do this and then it's a little bit annoying. Other than that, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I'll put links below and we'll put animals at the end. As always,